Well, hello everybody. It's what is it? Sunday, May 17th, 2026. And today, Carlos and I are in the beautiful, historic, and charming city of Orange, California. That building there, that Spanishy building. Look how beautiful it is. Built in 1924, the Orange Women's Club. Well, today they're having an event celebrating 40 years of like architectural. There's Carlos. Architectural preservation in the city and all of that. So today they're having a little reception-y thing in the courtyard, and then I guess there's Brett Waterman. If you've watched the show Restored, where he goes in and restores old homes rather than rip it out and renovate, he likes to restore and keep all what you can and embrace it. Yeah, built in 1924. 121, what is this? Center Street? 121 South Center in the city of Orange. Okay, so we already checked in, and they have kind of like a little courtyard when they have drinks, wine, and little tables you can stand and talk. Hey, Carlos, shall we walk in? Okay, all right, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so anyway, Brett Waterman. He's he wears the cowboy hat, and he is a cheerleader for all of people who have historic homes. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so they're having a little buffet, but it's finger food. It's beautifully presented. Well, it's been mowed through, but it's really lovely here. Yeah. And then I noticed something over here, a cake for their celebration. Okay, so this thing started at 3:30, and I guess it's going to go till 8:30, I guess. But we're seated kind of right in the middle up there. There's Carlos. So we'll be turning around and be close to see the presentation. And this is our table here. There, here we all are. Okay.
As well as Bridget Elmer, the Executive Director for Pasadena Heritage. And we're putting another one forward.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I have to say it's kind of special speaking here in Orange County because I would assume that many of you probably know, I was born and raised here. So this is home for me. And I gotta tell you, Orange in particular has been kind of the type of city that draws you in. It's beautiful architecture, it holds on to a lot of history. And I think, as Bridget and I were talking, and you may have missed it, so Bridget Lawler is my friend from Pasadena Heritage. So she works with me a lot, all over California, doing speaking engagements, talking about preservation efforts, and we're gonna engage in a little bit of a discussion interview, talking about preservation efforts in the past, current, and future. Downtown Orange a lot, Santa Ana, Huntington Beach. This is my hometown. I mean, this is, when I come back to Orange County, it still feels like home. And luckily, it's because of the preservation efforts that I still find a lot familiar. Don't get me wrong, a lot has changed. And I think that's one thing we're going to talk a little bit about. Now, for me, my family, my dad grew up in Seattle, Washington. My mom, born in Oklahoma, raised in Long Beach, Lakewood. But my family's been in Southern California really since the 1930s. And I was very young. We, like many of us, tried different churches. And we were raised Lutheran, but at one point we started trying some of the bigger churches. And at one point we ended up over at Garden Grove Community with Robert Schuller. Everyone remember Robert Schuller?
Oh, yeah.
So one of my favorite things we used to do after church, and I'm sure a lot of you did this, when I remember being like 7 or 8, my mom and dad loved architecture. They're here, by the way. My mom and dad had to go. So, I love architecture. From college and stuff. Anyways, my parents, after church, we would drive through neighborhoods and look at architecture. Now, my sister, love her to death, she would get a little bored. I was a kid at the window the whole time. And a lot of times we would drive through Orange. We would drive through Santa Ana, Floral Park, Victoria Drive, and it just kind of raised in my mind at a very early year the beauty of architecture. And when I do a lot of presentations, a lot of times I'll be showing a lot of visuals. But we're talking in town where a lot of you are going to know some of the visuals I'm talking about. But architecture, in my mind, and I would argue this, is the highest form of art. Because architecture is the art that we surround our lives. It's where we spend our time with our family, our loved ones, where we work. We craft the environment where we choose to spend our time. But it's your enthusiasm about your communities that is going to get other people to see something. It's like when you're walking through the park and you see someone looking up at something, people want to stop and see what you're looking at. We humans, we're curious by nature. So if you raise awareness, more people will stop and see what you see. So don't stop talking about it. Don't stop pointing it out. Can you continue to get the enthusiasm? Now, I want to put a question. I'll tell you one more thing we're doing. And I touched on it a little bit earlier. Not everybody lives in an old house. But if you understand the architectural style of your house, you have a roadmap moving forward. We have a new show coming out. We've got 4 episodes already, as they say, in the can. The working title is Timeless. I mentioned it earlier. And what we're doing is we're going around and we are meeting with people of all architectural styles. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 1890s. And helping people understand what happened to their house, how can we lock it down with an architectural style, and give you a roadmap to move forward. We did one in Redlands. It's in 1890s, what they call the Victorian, and they painted it out like a crazy Victorian, and they added on in the back, and then, you know, one of these houses gets added on and added on and added on, and the floor plan makes no sense. So we had to pull it back, and this is more of a design show. And we're using the tools through CAD and AI to paint the picture, give people an image of what this house was, and how do I move it forward, take off the bad additions, show what it was looked like. How do you fix the floor plan? So many people can't see a floor plan because they've changed doorways and windows and moved things around. One of the ones we just did, and we just did it in Fountain Valley, you know, the town where I grew up. And I was like, there's not a lot of historic homes in Fountain Valley. It's a 1960s ranch house, American traditional ranch, raised foundation, and over the years, you know, hey, I'm going to be 61 tomorrow, so this house is about 60 years old. The house has seen a lot of changes, and you don't really understand it. I have a young couple that bought this house. They love the location, they're surfers, they love the beach, they got 2 young kids, they love the neighborhood. But Jenna was like, what do I do with this house? And I go, well, let me help you understand what it was in 1964, 5 when it was built. And it was funny because she and Ricky are surfers, typical, a lot of Orange County people, and they
Honor Mr. Waterman and say thank you so much for doing this for us here today and spreading this awareness. It's so important to us. So we would like to gift you one of our historic plaques that a local artist here makes for us of our historic fountain, our original fountain that's in front of the Orange Public Library. So we would love to gift you this, and we also would love, you heard, it is the man's 21st birthday.
Thank you so much.
So we would, Ty, that gentleman here named Ty, he makes these towels for us and fires them and frames them and everything for us. So with that said, stay with us, right? So thank you so much for being here. We have just a little housekeeping things here. We have coffee and cake at the back, so we will be serving birthday cake. This is a birthday party after all, not just for Brett, but for the O.T.P.A. as well. And I'm sure after listening here to everything that Brett said about SB 9 and SB 79 and just the challenges that we are facing as the O.T.P.A., you know, one of the number one comments that we get all the time is, what do you guys even do? You just plan events, right? We hear it all the time. But what you guys don't see is the tireless and endless amounts of work that go into this. Thank you so much for being here with us. And feel free to mix and mingle with your neighbors because this is what it's about, community and all of us being together. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, you see that? Was it supposed to end at 6:30 or 8:30?
8:30.
Oh, really? No, I don't think so.
6:30.
Okay, 6:30. Well, they timed it well. See, look, you know, he's over there. He's talking to all his fans, Mr. Brett, and but it was a really nice, informative little discussion on architecture, preservation, and all that kind of good stuff. So glad we went. It was really nice. Nice charcuterie board, big long buffet table, and we sat at a nice table with people. But anyway, so Orange, even though we don't live in Orange, it's similar to other places where they have the old, we live in an old neighborhood. So if you live in an old home and you appreciate architecture and design and that kind of thing, you know, makes a difference to come and do that. Get involved. And Orange, man, this city, well, we're over here. This is kind of, that's the Civic Center over there in their parking lot where we're at. And, but there's, I think it's the guy at the table said Orange is the second largest city in the country behind someplace that's in New Jersey. I wasn't aware of that. With the most concentration of vintage homes. So there, learned something today. Anyway, but Orange, they film a lot of old movies down here. It's real popular, especially they have a traffic circle in the middle with a fountain that lately, as of late, gets smashed into by cars a lot that drive through. And they're having a problem with that. I think they gotta get to the bottom of that and fix that. But other than that, see, look at like that. Doesn't that look like old hometown kind of stuff? That's beautiful. They were having when we parked right over here, they were having a graduation. They were wearing all their graduation gowns. So anyway, that's it, the end period. Just kind of telling you that this is the city of Orange and la-di-da. Okay? Have a nice day, everybody.